Well, it's wet over here now. Should be great conditions to burn. It's just not great conditions to get trucks in here to get the rest of this wood out. So it's a crapshoot, but at least I'm going to take advantage and get in here and start a fire again. I think the wind's blowing that way. I think it's the way the rain's moving in here. So got a lot of rain yesterday and last night, so everything's pretty wet out here. Luckily it was really dry, so it did soak a lot of it up. I don't know when they're coming, but if the trucks do come today, I'll have to take the rake off the dozer and blade all that off so they can at least get in here. I don't even know if they can get in here and turn around. I might have to back. We'll just have to worry about that battle when it comes. But let's go down here and check it out. Friend that helped me the other day brought that big pile of stumps down here. It was easy for him to go around there and grab that with the skid steer, and it's easier than trying to push a pile of stumps with the dozer because they just end up going every which way and getting a lot of dirt in it. So he was able to grab them with the skid steer and the grapple, and got a big pile of them right here. So I'm gonna come around that side and get the fire started and start putting all this stuff in it. The reason I'm not burning all these piles right here is, well, that's where the pond's going, so I don't need a giant pile of ashes right there. And if I dig a hole, then I'm gonna be getting into it when I dig the pond. So pretty much I kind of figured this job to take everything and bring it down here to the backside behind the pond dam and burn it there. So that's what I'll be working on today. So that wasn't very hard to get started. I threw a paper bag in there, a little bit of diesel fuel, about a gallon. Seems to be burning pretty good there. I'm gonna let that heat up for a second. Smoke seems to be going straight up in the air. A little bit lingering right here from when I get a bucket full and put on top of it. But once it gets hot, I think it should clear on up pretty good. So I think I'm going to be okay today. Regardless, I've notified the forestry service and the local fire department that I was going to be doing a extreme amount of burning today. So everybody in the area is prepared if people call in. So that's my plan today. Burn, burn, and burn. I'll get a whole lot of this burnt today. I'm going to be hard at it. Once it heats up, see how the smoke, once it gets to the top of the tree line, the wind's catching it, but at least it's blowing it that way, and that's all his land for the next half mile or so. So it'll dissipate out. Before it was blowing 180 degrees and literally, like, I don't know, well, you can see a house right there. I didn't want all that to lay in there because this is going to burn for 2 or 3 days. Heating up nicely. It's gonna be good today. Burning decent. Everything piled up. I got an air shaft dug on the other side, and I'm leaving this little spot right here open. Stacking everything on each side of it, so it can stay nice and hot. So actually cutting all the wood out of it can be a little hindrance when it comes time to burning, because you end up with nothing but like little sticks and stuff. So honestly, there's really nothing left here to salvage. Like I said in 500 other videos, people say, why don't you grind this? Well, when there's nothing but leaves and stumps left, you end up with material that looks like dirt sticks in it and leaves, and that does not make pretty mulch. Mulch comes from solid logs without branches on them, and you end up with a lot of, the problem I had when I cleared this was it was so dry and everything was just like baby powder. When you rake up a big pile of sticks, you end up getting a lot of that dust in it and that all that powdery topsoil. So as you're grabbing everything and stacking it, all that dirt falls down into your pile, And if you see right here, you end up with a pile of leaves and then they get wet, and then you kind of got a little bit of a mess that won't burn. So that's the reason I put everything on the fire as I'm burning instead of piling everything up and then set it on fire. That right there wouldn't burn too good because it's just got a mix of so much stuff in it. So what I do is when I'm ready to burn it, I'll grab a mix of the stuff that's got some dirt and junk in it, and then I'll grab a grapple full of stuff that's pretty much logs and clean debris. And that kind of puts enough air in it so that it doesn't really smother the fire out. If you just go and start stacking all those giant piles of leaves and dirt on there, it'll just smother the fire right out. Luckily there was a lot of hardwood stuff in here too, because when you get a bunch of pine, all the needles and everything always get wet. Then you really end up with a mess of dirt, pine needles, and crap that won't burn. But luckily I had enough where I could mix it all together and made a pretty good variety of stuff so that it should burn pretty good. There's no doubt in my mind today I'll get all this burnt, all that pile burnt, all that burnt, and I'm going to start working on getting that transferred down here. So it's going to open up today. I'm going to put stuff on here like it's candy there. Fill it up. Let it eat. Once that fire gets going, it's going to eat it about as fast as I can put it on there. Couldn't put it all on the fire pile was, well, I had to clear everything before I could get down here to even figure out where to do the burn pile. I didn't know what trees we were saving or what, so until I kind of come down here and got the area open, I didn't even know where I was going to burn at. Buddy, this stuff's going to go away from here now. I need to start grabbing that other pile. Because that's where all my stumps are. Ooh, that is hot. Don't swing that way. That was the hot way. What I do not want to do is burn all my small stuff up, not have enough debris to burn the stump. So I need to go ahead and start putting some of those on there and get this mess burned up. Get these big logs and everything on there. Stumps take a lot longer to burn than little pine branches. I'm going to actually start putting some right here to build a wall to block some of that heat. Kind of keep it off the machine a little bit. Now I can grab some of these stumps like this one, give it a courtesy drop or two. That's the problem with this clay, I don't care how much you pick them up and drop them, there's still a lot of dirt left on them. So a lot of times you just got to put it in the fire and it'll burn all the wood off of it. And then when you move the fire over a little bit, you just kind of pull them out and drop them, and it's normally baked to dirt and it'll bust right off. Now that I put that brush right there, I can stack a few stumps right in there. They'll get nice and toasty. Boy, these ain't nothing but piles of dirt, aren't they? Let's not quite put those in there just yet. We'll put them in there before we go home for today and let them simmer overnight. You can also take a stump like that and set it up, and then take all these stumps and drop it on them, and it'll really kind of help knock the dirt off as well. Kind of having that top of that stump as it hits, it puts a lot of pressure in one area and knocks it off. Put this on there and some more brush and sort through some more of this stuff, and I'll probably get the drone flying and get a good aerial video of this. Once that spreads to that pile, it's going to be pretty impressive. We might kill a couple of them trees over there, but it normally happens anyways. As long as we save our trees up here we're trying to save. About 5 minutes, that'll be burning so good it probably won't even hardly be smoking. So I've knocked a pretty good dent in the pile that was down there. But boy, that's a pile right there. And I got to get all that pushed and drug and everything down there. So, but truck's coming here in a little bit, so I'm gonna take the rake off the dozer, go ahead and blade over the landing right here, move the skid steer, and see if I can't get some wood out of here. Once the smoke gets above the tree line, you can't even see it. So that's one extreme to another, with dryness to wetness, but I got that bladed off, and hopefully it won't rain anymore before we can get in here. You can come in here and pull right here and back over there and turn around. I'm just going to track the logs up here. He's going to get what's left of those poplar logs. That's all I can get out today, so we shall see. Hopefully it won't rain before he gets here, because that's going to be a soupy mess if it does rain. So to build another heat wall. It's cooking really good. I got all that pile and all that stuff from behind it onto it. That has a little dirt in it, so that'll calm it down for a minute. There's some stumps on there. It's getting really toasty now. I got one stump in here and a stray log to be careful of. You notice the track stumps squeak anymore. They got a little moisture on them from all the rain. So all that dry metal got a little moisture on it now, so calm it down. Stack for about 10 more minutes, and I got to go push off the path. They got a log truck coming for a half a load. They had a half a load left on their job site, and I have a half a load here, so they're going to come get that. That might be all the wood I can get out this week. I don't know. It's kind of depressing. I'd hate to be a logger right now, because I can't even move wood. So we'll see. The rain's not helping anything either. I gotta take the rake off the dozer just to grade the darn path in to get a half a truckload of wood out and put the rake back on. Not that big of an ordeal, but it's just aggravating having to do stuff twice. Got any more stumps without a lot of dirt on them. Those two will work. So a few grapple fulls of brush, a few stumps, pile down. Gotta make sure you're not getting the glass too hot. I definitely don't want to crack my brand new damn windshield. That's why I put all that mess that had the dirt and stuff in it right there. It kind of calmed the flames down. It is chugging along good though, I'm telling you. For the past hour I've been putting it on there non-stop. Get a few of these roots here. Kind of clean everything up as I go. Stump with roots is kind of the same as stump and brush. Just amazing how dry this stuff was, and then it gets some rain on it. It's like mud. Well, I dropped all that, so that didn't really benefit me none. That's about all the stumps I can put on there till it burns down. They're starting to roll off. They're getting to the point where they'll roll off. I think one more big grapple full of brush. I'll get it from this pile. Then I'm gonna go get on the dozer and grade off the area up here. I didn't want to do that first thing because we just had a rain shower. That's why I haven't flown the drone yet. It doesn't fly too good in the rain. This is just perfect conditions for burning today. I am so glad I waited. Already cleared up. That is cooking. Alright, well let me go. Well, it's raining again. I'll wait. I gotta go blade off an area for a truck to. While I'm waiting on the log truck to get here, I'm gonna throw some stumps and brush on here and gotta get some more of this stuff to burn up. Just gonna have to put that one in there and let it burn when it's gonna burn, and pull it back out later on. I'll put it right here on the edge. Got so much dirt on it, you can drop them and it doesn't fall off. Pine trees are the worst, don't they? Roots are packed in there so bad. Well, hardwood trees can be pretty difficult too. Big ones in there and let them burn on down some. That looked like a red oak when I cut it. Cut it in half. It was so big I couldn't break it. Yet still not rotten enough where I mean it was rotten, but it's still not rotten enough where I could break it in half. So I take a chainsaw it, chop it in half. I mean, that wood's actually still good. So this will be good. This will kind of act as a little, like a vent almost, as I pile everything on top of it, because it's going to take those big logs a long time to burn in half. burn up. Those things were like 24, 30 inches in diameter. And it was hard to tell on the video, but that's going to take a long time for that log that big to burn in half. So now I can pack all this stuff on top of it, and it'll act as like kind of like a vent for the air to get in there and really burn this up. Kind of like the grates on a grill almost. Down here to the bottom junk now that's got all the dirt and mess in it. Kind of grab a little bit, stack it up, mix a little bit in here and there as I throw it on. At least it's still got a little dust to it. Plus it's right here beside the fire, so it actually dries it out some. Another thing, if you got some pretty nasty wet stuff, you can actually kind of spread it out beside the fire like this, and the heat from the fire will kind of dry the dirt out of it. Picking through this, keep the fire going. Loading out the pine pulpwood now. Just filled up the front bunk, and now I'm going to get whatever I can in the back, and then the rest of it's probably going to go in the fire. I'm going to try to get all the biggest pieces and put on the truck, just so if I got to burn it, I can burn the smaller ones. of it. I ain't gonna get all of it, but I'll get most of it. You'll have to go around the scale house. It ain't gonna be a touch on the heavy side. I think I'm gonna get most of it. I look back and there's more. Back to worry about. That's probably already heavy enough, right? Might need a little push. Yeah, I'm going to have to push from behind. Burning right along. The ashes started falling on me, so I'll get that later. All that's left here is that pile of stumps. This big pile is gone. And I'm going to work on that one. Try to get everything from the pond site. For some reason, I have to quit burning. At least all the stuff from the pond area will be done so that I can start working on that. I feel like I can get all this burnt in the next couple of days. Do a quick update before it starts raining again. We got all of this pile right here gone, moved on to it, onto the fire there. Got some stumps right there, and that pile of stumps is about all that's left. Got a few right there. I've been piling them on there. Actually, I think I put too many on there. I just went and put a crap ton load of brush on top of it to hopefully get the fire back going. I kind of smothered it out, but I still got that big pile up there. And and that one right there. What's left of that one, it was all the way to here, so I've really burned a lot. And pretty much that whole pile that was sitting right here as well is now gone. So I did put the rake back on the dozer and was pushing some stuff, but it just gets so mixed up with the mud, it just makes it a nightmare to sort out. So I don't know, I may just finish grabbing it with the excavator and bringing it down here, I don't know. But regardless, I got to pull it out of those big piles with the excavator. It's so packed in there you can't push it out with the dozer. I don't think a D8 would push those. It's so wadded up in there and everything. But I want to separate a little bit out and push it down here and let this burn down, and then I'll come back before dark and stack it up one more good time and let it burn throughout the night. It's a little after 7 p.m. I rode back over here to push the fire up. Looks like it burnt down pretty good. I'm going to take what's left of all those stumps and chunk them on there, and then walk over here and grab that brush and put on top of it, and that should get the fire going back nice and hot and have all those nice coals to kind of burn down on top of those stumps and let them burn through the night. But it's let's just say I've burned enough where the hole's actually full of ashes already. Well, half of it's in the hole, half of it's not. Let's restack this fire. See, like this big stump right here that had all that dirt on it. Now watch and see what I can do. That was that big double pine. So I can pick it up and drop it. Now a lot of that dirt will fall off of it. Sometimes you still got to kind of break it around a little bit. And I got some off. Throw that back in there. Let it simmer tonight. See if I can grab this big one right here. It definitely needs some dirt knocked off it. Disappear into the cloud of dust. These stumps over here and put on there, and then I'm going to stack some. Alright, it's a little bit after 8 now. Got all that stacked up on there. I got a lot of that put on there, and all those stumps out of the wood line brought over, and a few grapplefuls from up there. All this mess, what I normally do with that, I'll either dig a hole or just all that dirt from the pond has got to come down here. I'll push it in here and use it to raise up this low area right here. It's not good for anything, so I'll just push all this mess in here and cover it up with dirt from the pond. And here's the back side. As you can tell, it's cooking along pretty good. Boy, it's one extreme to the other out here. It's a wet mess now. Hopefully that'll bake those stumps. There's your size reference. Easy. The excavator. pretty good sized burn pile.